Okay, ladies, I'm just gonna come on here and just talk about random shit right now because I am so pissed off. I was working on a video for y'all for 3 days straight and I just finished it and I was in a rush and I go to upload it or download it or whatever and deleted the whole video. I'm so pissed off. It was about religion and how religion needs to die if patriarchy is going to die, and how it's all connected and it's all bad and it's all rooted in the oppression of women, men, and children. And it was an hour and a half long video. It took me 3 days to put together. I did the editing, I did everything, and then I go and I push the damn delete button because I'm in the kitchen right now and I'm meal prepping, so I just wasn't paying attention. And I could have went and put it back together. It would have took probably another day for me to go back and put everything back together, but I was like, fuck it. I just deleted everything because I was so mad, y'all. I was so mad. So let's just talk about just random stuff. I just want to talk about random stuff. Let's get into it, and I will be right back.
Are not equipped to lead, and it is our job to kick them out of their positions of power. It's time. The matriarchy is here and we need to do something about it because there are fucking wars happening globally. Okay? People getting bombed, nature getting bombed, animals getting trafficked, children getting trafficked, women getting trafficked. We have been raped. We have been abused. Nature has been abused and raped. Each one of us as women understands the pain that these fucking men have ensued. Okay? And I'm talking about men as a system, but also as individuals. They are taking accountability, but not fucking enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We were born as the gatekeepers and we forgot our power because we have been enslaved to the system and we have been abused and it's been beaten out of us. And quite frankly, a lot of women don't know their power. Your job is to get in positions of power. I want you to be a leader in your industry, in your company, in your team, and in politics, and wherever it fucking matters, go for it. Okay? Nobody's gonna protect us, and we need to do our own protection and protect our children, protect nature, protect animals, and protect the mother, who is our source. When there's no respect for women, there's no respect for Earth and vice versa. And clearly they have no fucking respect for their own nature. They are competing, they're having dick-size competitions, they are fucking up, and they've been fucking up for centuries, and enough is enough. Enough is enough. Watching things burn down when we can do something about it is enough. There are no more consequences that we can pay that we have not paid already. With our mental health, with our physical health, etc., etc. Get to fucking work, ladies. Get to fucking work, okay? Because I will not be fucking healing what I did not break. Enough is enough. We are not fucking nursemaids.
And women don't know their power because men have erased it throughout history, just like they are erasing Black history. If you do anything that is powerful to fight back, they will erase your history and take you out. Salem witch trials, those were powerful women who healed each other with meds and herbs. Meds that were made with herbs and natural remedies, and they took them out. Women are powerful, and this is why they are making so many laws. They are making so many laws to control us. And it is going to be a rise of a matriarchy. There are more men who are feminists who are rising too, but like she said, it's not enough, but it's going to happen. It may not happen in time, but it's going to happen. And in the meantime, I'm telling y'all, every chance I can get, women prepare. Women, arm yourselves. Women, train. Women, get in the gym. Do what you can to prepare, because you're always a casualty. Because if they can't control you any other way, they're going to use their strength and their power to do it, because they know that you are not submissive and you will not just follow them just because they say so.
Fuck about being married. Nobody. I don't know anybody that wants to be fucking married. Everybody that I know is married wants to be fucking divorced. Nope. I'm telling you right now, nobody I know wants to be married anymore. Nobody I know, they want out of their marriage. They want to be fucking divorced. I don't know why you guys glamorize marriage like it's this fucking end game. It's not the fucking end game anymore. Women don't want to be in that bullshit anymore. They don't want to do every fucking thing and then you be fucking horrible and cheat and lie. Most of you, not all of you. Nobody gives a fuck about that anymore. Nobody. They don't want to deal with this shit anymore. They don't want to be around you. The smell of you. When you pull in the driveway, they want to What the fuck don't you people understand? What don't guys understand? They don't want to be a trad wife to a dude that doesn't pay for everything, that doesn't do everything. If the woman is a trad wife, you do everything else. And you guys don't want to do it. No, because you want to be the woman and the man, right? You want to be the woman and the man. Something your mom taught you growing up, right? You were the husband to your mom, who was the wife. No woman is going to be a trad wife to a motherfucker that ain't going to do everything else.
The only people I know that really care about being married is Black women. The group of women who receive the least out of being married. They don't receive a lot of benefits overall. I'm not saying there are no Black women who don't receive stuff from being married, but overall, as a majority, Black women receive nothing out of marriage. Stats prove it. You can look around in your own life and you can see how miserable all the Black women that you know are. You even know like what their husband is doing. Everybody knows what their husband is doing, including you, but Black women want to still be delusional and they will still lie to you about their marriages and pretend like everything is okay when they're not, because they've been taught to just protect these men and cover for these men, and they are just toxic and dangerous. So that's that on that.
Us gay men, we will marry your girlfriends. If we have to go back to having lavender marriages where, the wife knows the husband's gay, but for political reasons, safety reasons, they marry, we're marrying your girlfriends. I know what you're thinking. My girlfriend does not want to marry a gay man, and that's where you're wrong. After a long day of work, she's going to come home to her gay husband, handing her a full glass of wine, asking if she's ready for face mask and to watch The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. She's going to have a husband who's emotionally available to her. She wants to talk to me about her workday. Give me the tea, baby. What's the hot goss? Gay men take care of themselves. I work out like 5 times a week. We have great hygiene. I shower at least once a day. I wash my ass with soap. Straight man, you can't let water just run down there and then give the rest to God. And I'm not dumb. I know what else you're thinking. No, my girl, she'd miss being physically intimate too much. Now, I don't speak for all the gays, but for me, personally, hear me when I say, your girlfriend is doing me a very big favor. And if sister girlfriend just asked, I am more than happy. I am more than willing to return that favor. My dude, you shouldn't have voted for the orange guy. At the end of the day, it's her choice. Because in this club, we believe that women have the right to choose. Now, who wants to go watch some Sex in the City?
I don't want to get married. I actually have a straight partner I've been with for 15 years, and I have zero interest in performing monogamy or fitting into heteronormative expectations. I'm happily solo, polyamorous, and pansexual. But a lavender marriage actually sounds appealing. Yeah, I kind of want a gay husband suddenly. Can't believe this is how I end up desiring marriage. It's working.
I honestly wouldn't mind living with a gay man if I had to. But I work with a lot of gay men and transgender men, and I've had conversations with them that are deep, like deep. The stuff that I want to talk about, the stuff that I believe, like we're all on the same page, it seems like it. And most of them are actually not even Black men. They're like... they're different races of men, and they are so much deeper than just like men who claim not to be gay or down low men who are just hiding who they are. Gay men don't give a fuck, and that makes them more like women. They are not really followers of society. They can't be to be gay because society says that you're not supposed to be gay, and society wants to push them into these boxes just like it wants to push women into. And I think that's why women and gay men have a lot in common. I'm not saying all gay men are for women. There are a lot of gay men who hate women because they want to be women and take your identity. But there are some gay men that want to be an ally and that don't hate women. They really don't hate women. And a lot of gay men are actually starting to not like men because they date men too. And the men are out here treating them just as bad as they treat women. So, and a lot of these gay men are out here dating y'all's husbands and hearing the stuff that y'all's husbands have to say about them so they can tell you what's really going on. But I know a lot of women won't believe it. They'll just be like, yeah, not my husband. Like a lot of women do that, and it's annoying. But yeah, I think if it came down to it and we had to try to change this world and flip it upside down, I think I could team up with a gay man if they were just trying to force women to be married, to do certain things. I think we could flip it upside down if we joined forces with the gay men who weren't dangerous, but also be very aware and be very alert of them also because they are men. So you got to be alert of them also.
They do not look like a whore like that. If you think that's something, no, she's a whore. You're wrong.
Imagine sitting down, doing your work, minding your business, and a married woman calls you a whore because her husband notices your beauty. When you're classy, unbothered, minding your business, and a leveled up woman, insecure women will always project, even the married ones. Here's the full clip.
Let your hair down, be yourself without judgment. You?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have to dress up. You're so irritated. Getting up every fucking morning and looking like that.
Are you ready to go upstairs?
Every day. Every day.
Yeah, he's lying.
They don't look like that
They do
anymore?
not look like a whore like that. If you think that's something, no, she's a whore. You're wrong.
I'm out of here.
Are you ready to go upstairs?
Every day. Every day.
Yeah, he's lying.
They don't look like that
They do
anymore?
not look like a whore like that. If you think that's something, no, she's a whore. You're wrong.
And this is what I mean when I say that male-centered women are dangerous and I cannot be around women like this. Imagine a world where women lived amongst other women and we were in a matriarchy and women just dealt with men whenever they felt like it and they were supported by other women. Do y'all think this would be existing? Do you think women would be so concerned about what a man does with his eyeballs or his time? No, because we wouldn't be around them. We wouldn't care. We would be amongst each other and our beauty would be for ourselves and for each other. We wouldn't have to worry about other women getting mad because we look better than them and trying to take us out because they think that we're dealing with their husbands. Like, if all of this would be a non-factor. This is crazy.
The thing about going 50-50 with a man is you mean I have to pay to live with you and then I get to come home and like cook and clean? Because when a man says he wants to go 50-50, okay, which days are you going to cook then? And then like if I clean the kitchen, you're cleaning the bathroom, right? And then like we're going to like split up doing the laundry and stuff. He's going to look at you like a deer in the headlights. He's like, no, I mean like we're going to like split the rent and the power bill and stuff like that. So I just can't imagine paying to live with a man. I don't know. Like, I know we want equality and stuff like that. That's not equality. That's a man using women wanting equality as in rights to their own bodies in a way that works for them. I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. Now, if you're married, your money's going into the same bank account and the bills are coming out of there. So you're having access to his money as well, as you should, for all your domestic labor. But to live with a boyfriend and have him come up to you with a straight face on the first and ask for your cut of the rent and then ask you what's for dinner tonight, I just can't.
You want to burn down the patriarchy, but yet you still subscribe to patriarchal concepts like men should pay all the bills. I'm like, that's not a patriarchal concept. Like, that's the price of having a woman in your life. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Regardless, if you take the patriarchy out of it, the scale is still going to tip in favor of having a woman in your life. If you want to have a legacy,
The woman is still the prize at the end of the day.
that's why the patriarchy was invented. It's like you guys don't realize that's actually very anti-patriarchal, is that a man is not like paying you in room and board. You know what I'm saying? It's like you would still have your own job. I'm never saying let a man pay your bills while you don't work. I'm never saying that, to be clear. I'm never, ever, ever saying that. But I think if a man wants to be with a woman, he should pay all the bills. That's just how I feel.
I agree with that. I think when I think of the 50-50 thing, for me, having kids is what determines if that's okay or not. I always think whoever makes the most money should pay all the bills, or most of them.
Right. Like, y'all, I'm 42 and I just started paying for my own phone bill like last year. And I pay like not even all of my car insurance, but I put $100 on it a month. And that's all. That's it. Like, and I have never before paid a bill or insurance or a car note before then, ever. And that is pretty much all I'm going to pay in my marriage. And if not, my husband can just, if he wants me to pay more, he can just get a roommate. Like, I feel like that when men do pay all the bills, that's pretty much all they do in the marriage or the relationship, because they expect for women to do everything else. There are exceptions. I know some men do more than what the average man does, but I'm talking about the average man. Like, the average man is not going to buy groceries or cooking or taking care of kids or meeting up with the school teachers and principals and doing sports and just taking kids to the dentist and the doctor. I'm not saying no men do that, but for the most part, most men just feel like they have to work and come home. So if that's all they're doing, why would they not pay all the bills? If that's all they're doing, they're not communicating with you properly because they don't want to understand you. They can't hear you. They don't want to hear you. So why wouldn't they pay the bills? If all they're doing is working and getting sex from you and you're doing everything else, why wouldn't they pay for that? Like, if they had to pay somebody else to do that, they wouldn't be able to afford it. So they might as well pay all the bills. Especially if you're working too, you're doing all of that and you're working too, they need to be paying all the bills and you should be able to keep your money.
We need to unnormalize giving birth because that shit is not normal. First of all, only half of the human population are even capable of doing such a thing. They're obsessed with the gender who has the capabilities. They're obsessed with the mechanisms, if you know what I mean. And they're obsessed with the control of it. That's the reason for the laws. That's the reason for the religious stories. That's the reason for the name change during marriage. That's the reason why they always want to be near and inside it. Y'all, I can go on about this for days, but giving birth is not normal. It is not a normal thing. And they always try to make us feel like everyone does it. Everyone except for you.
According to the 4B movement in China and the lowered birth rates globally, I think a lot of women are like not normalizing giving birth. I think a lot of women are saying, I don't have to do this just because I have the capability to do it and just because they told me I should do it and it's natural for me, I don't have to do it. Like, I could die doing this. It is like the closest you will ever come to death. And the society that we have allowed these men to set up is not fit for women to be having birth in. They can't afford it. They can't afford daycare. We've talked about this many times. There is nothing in this society that is conducive to women having babies. Women should not be doing it at all. Not right now in 2026, not under this current administration. It's just not something that is feasible for most women and for most men. And women, since we are natural leaders, are naturally like saying, no, we're not getting married. We're not giving birth because y'all hate us pretty much.
The more macho I find a man to be, the more obedient and submissive he's likely to be, the more he's likely to go and do an obedient, submissive job, like be in the army or do whatever, follow orders from another man. The men who are the most in touch with their feminine side are the most rebellious, strong men I've ever met. The more in touch with the man's feminine side he is, the more power he seems to be able to acquire. There is such a disobedience to going, F off, I will embrace my feminine side and I won't fear it. My boyfriend is a man who has got femininity within him. And when I say that, I mean sensitivity. Yeah. He's a sensitive man. He's the manliest man I've ever met. And people presume because I'm so strong and I'm so outspoken, I must be with some like weak, like cuck, simp type. Where it's like, no, a weak man couldn't handle me. His masculinity is so firm, nothing threatens it. Not his femininity and not mine. That's a real man.
And this is 100% correct. And this is why they do have the military, because men need to go by commands. They want to think that they're all big and bad, but they go into the military so other men can tell them what to do. They go into the police department to be told what to do by their captain or their chief. A lot of men go work for other men because they want to be told what to do. They don't start their businesses because they are not leaders. You know, this is why wars are started, because men who are rich at the top, they start shit and then they tell the other men at the bottom who aren't leaders what to do. Go fight these people over here because I told you so. You don't really know why you're fighting them, but go fight them because I told you so. Like, they have to make up lies and force these men into like complete delusion to make them go fight for a country that doesn't even like them. And the men just believe it. A lot of men just follow it. Like, I'm not saying there's no women that don't do the same thing, but for the most part, men are following it. And I don't think it's the most I don't think it's the majority of women, because we're seeing that these women are filing for divorce at over a 70% rate from these men who are just following orders from other men. We saw it with Hitler. We saw it with every regime. We see it with the Taliban, the Yazidis. All these men who start these groups are followers. They are not leaders, but at the same time, they want to push Christianity on us and tell us that we are supposed to be submitted to them and following them. But women have been fighting back for centuries, which shows you that women are not natural followers. Women are natural leaders. If we were followers, we wouldn't be fighting. We would be doing what men are doing. We would just go and do what other men tell us to do, or what other women tell us to do. Women are contrary to that, and that's what they don't like. That is why we are clashing, and that is why women are in deep, deep, deep trouble right now, because women said, hell no, we're not going.
Women think that decentering men means hating men, but it's not. It means removing men from the throne of your nervous system. So growing up in the patriarchy or high control religious environments trains women to orbit men. The men's approval was their safety. Therefore, the men's happiness was your responsibility. Them having authority over you was God's design. And I call bullshit on it all. You weren't taught to be a person. You were taught to be a supportive person, a helpmate. And that's not healthy. So decentering men is not rebellion, it's rehabilitation. And it looks like this. You stop making decisions based on how a man is going to feel about them. You choose your clothes, your career, your friendships, and your beliefs based on your values, not male approval. And if he pulls away, sure, that might hurt, but it doesn't make you collapse. And if he's disappointed in you, you don't panic and abandon yourself to please him again. You stop over-functioning. You stop managing his emotions, and you stop shrinking to keep the peace. We're not saying that men are trash. We're just saying men are humans. You start evaluating them based on their behavior and patterns of behaviors and not a fantasy, not potential. Decentering men actually makes you better at relationships, because now you're not choosing to make decisions out of fear. You're making decisions out of wholeness. You build friendships. You build your financial independence. You heal your attachment wounds. You learn to say no without over-explaining. And you tolerate a man being upset with you without collapsing. Patriarchy taught you to people please and fawn, whereas decentering teaches you to stand your ground and have some self-respect. The men who need dominance over you will leave. Let them go. And the men capable of partnership will stay. You're not rejecting men, you're rejecting hierarchy. And when hierarchy dissolves, real partnership is possible. So stop worrying about what men think. You're a big girl. Think for yourself. If you need help doing it, give me a call. I'll help you out.
If you're an awakened woman and you meet a divine masculine, he will become your protector. And what that means is he's going to protect you from all of the people, things, influences that are going to stop you from spreading your light. If you're an awakened woman, you have the gift of discernment. You have the gift of lighting people up from the inside out, but you're also a painful mirror to people that refuse to do work, people that want you to play small, people that are not about the business of spreading light and love. And so he is going to protect you from all of those people, because his mission as a divine masculine is to protect your light and allow you to emanate it and fulfill your mission and purpose on earth. So don't be surprised when your divine masculine moves those people out of the way and protects you through and through from toxic people.
If you're an awakened woman in 2026, you aren't out here still thinking that men are protectors and going to protect you after all the shit that they've been doing for the last couple of centuries, a millennia. You're not going to be making videos like this saying that men who are masculine are protectors when you see that they aren't. Everything that's going on in the United States that they're doing is not protecting. Eating babies, raping women, taking people out for no reason, being racist, being misogynist, being sexist, can't communicate, and you think that's who is supposed to protect you?
heterosexual women are asking for more intimacy from men than we raise boys and men to deliver. What you're asking for is legit. I want men to learn how to stand up and be more intimate. What we know from research is that intimate connection is what the human species is designed for, and it's pounded out of our boys. Patriarchy hurts both men and women. The essence of being a man, and it's still with us today, is invulnerability. The more invulnerable you are, the more manly you are, the more vulnerable you are, the more girly you are. Guess what? What you learned as a boy will guarantee that by today's standards, you'll be a lousy husband. Open your heart. Dare to be vulnerable. Dare to be compassionate when your partner has a complaint about you. Leading men, women, non-binary folks into intimacy is synonymous with leading them beyond patriarchy. And for a man to be vulnerable and compassionate to another person's vulnerability is reconfiguring masculinity itself. You're a hero, guys. You're a pioneer. Do it.
So who's going to teach the men this when they're calling men who talk like this simps and panderers? Are the men? There's not enough men who are willing to go out and talk to other men. They're not listening to them. And the women who have told them the same exact thing, they have been taught not to listen to. These women have lost their lives, their dignity, their minds, their kids, their sanity, their health, and so much more, trying to teach men how to be human and how to get in touch with their emotions and how to communicate and how to talk and how to be just likable. And it hasn't happened. So now we're at the point where we see women separating themselves and protecting themselves because they see that they are in danger now. It's almost like we're not the same species. Because if you can't have compassion for other people, for like women, children, other men, people that are dying in this world, people who are getting raped, racism, the people who suffer from racism and sexism, then it's nothing like that anybody can teach you. We're just going to have to let nature take its course and let this group die off. That is nature, and that is what women are doing by allowing the birth rates to drop, because there's way too many men like that, and world governments are panicking and trying to get it to stop. They're trying to go against nature when women are doing what's natural.
The more access that men lose to women, the angrier they get. I made a video, like this comment is talking about, a community of women helping each other raise their kids without male access is much safer. I've been getting flooded with stories from women about their fathers being inappropriate, schmegulally abusing them, raping them when they were young girls. And it occurs to me that, you know what? Maybe we all should be raising children together instead of having a man in their lives. Is it safer to do it without a man in their lives? Get a donor and just get on with it. And here's the responses of some men. Because this idea of raising children together, women raising children together, it takes away a man's last thing that they're good for. If we don't even need them to be fathers, they have completely become replaceable and irrelevant. And that is their greatest fear.
It is 1,000% safer for women and children and pets for women to raise families without men in the home. It is 1,000% safer to be in a matriarchy where women can protect the children and each other. And that is why you see these men getting so angry that women don't want to be in relationships with them anymore and don't want to birth their children and don't want to get married. Governments are going crazy about the birth rates. That is because they know that they don't have access to prey on us if women wake up and realize that we shouldn't probably be living with the people that are hurting us the most statistically.
Men never, ever, ever know what women go through when we leave them. And when we leave them with kids, the stress and the drainage that happens to a woman when they have to take care of kids on their own. And the reason that I'm speaking on this is because I have been in this situation for over 2 years now, and I'm 58 years old. A friend of mine might watch this, and she always says that I mention my age, but I'm 58 years old, and I have an 11 and 13-year-old girls that live with me, and it's very taxing, and you have to be emotionally available for your children. And as men, we don't normally get put in that situation where we have to emotionally deal with our children. But let me tell you what I mean. This last week has been a week for the books for me. And what I mean by that, it's been a very difficult week, taking care of my girls, but it's just the way that it is. It's just life, right? So this past week, I found myself holding each one of my daughters separately as they both cried over different situations they were dealing with. And as I was sitting there hugging them, trying to make them feel better, I just had to think to myself, man, how many women have been in this situation for so many years, and there's been nobody around to help them or comfort them? Because all of my support, I don't get any support, right? All of the support that I have to give it to my children and to people in my life, but I don't get that same support back. But, being able to be here emotionally for my daughters when they're in tears, and being able to hug them and hold them and tell them that it's going to be all right is something that's very special to me. Now, am I saying that it's easy? It is not easy at 58 years old, because, at this time in my life, I'm supposed to only be really concerned about myself, but because I decided, and I don't encourage anybody to have kids in their 40s anymore. I decided to have kids, in my 40s. I'm older and I have kids that are younger, but it's really important to me, and I want it to be important to somebody that's hearing this, especially men, because we're not wired like that to be emotionally available, even for our women, for our wives, let alone for our daughters. So if you're a man and if you have daughters, I'm telling you, please spend time talking to your daughters. I had to have these conversations with my daughters to make sure, one, that they knew I loved them, and two, that I gave them the right information on how to handle certain situations in my life. Because one thing that I realized is I cannot hide them from every situation. What I can do is navigate them through the things that they see and the things that they experience. So if you're a father, be there for your girls emotionally, and if you're a mother, you're probably already there. And 2 thumbs up to the mothers.
And a lot of women do know. A lot of women are online speaking out, telling other women not to have children unless you're stable enough to take care of them on your own financially, unless you're mentally well, unless you're prepared to be a single mother. A lot of women are warning other women, and men are getting mad. There are also a lot of women who are starting to leave their kids with their dad because they don't want to do it alone, and he's not helping them, and he's giving them hell and fighting because he doesn't want to pay $20 every month in child support. So a lot of these women are just giving these dads full custody. I wouldn't recommend that unless you procreated with someone who is stable-minded and not abusive and might hurt your kids. And I wouldn't do that if he's just going to drop them off on other women in his family and burden them. So this is why women need to be very, very particular in who they have kids with. Would you want his family raising your kids if for some reason you couldn't raise your kids? Would you want him to have those kids and to push your kids off on his mother? Do you like his mother enough for her to raise your kids if something happened to you? If your mom couldn't do it, or if nobody in your family could do it and he's fighting for custody, or whatever the case, if your child ended up with his family in any kind of way, because if he's not responsible and doesn't know how to take care of himself, he's not going to be able to take care of your kid, and he's going to push that baby off on somebody in his family. And chances are that his family is probably just as messed up as him. And if his family are all women who are male-centered and you're dropping like a boy off with them, they're going to cater to that boy, and he's going to grow up being trash like his dad. Or they're going to, if you're dropping a girl off with him and they end up taking care of that girl, they're going to make her male-centered. They're going to make her not the priority. She's going to grow up serving men and being a mammy and a pygmy. It's just so many things that women have to think about when they have kids with these men. Like, it's so much. And I feel like that if y'all choose like decent men who could possibly raise your kids for you if you need them to. Like this man seems like he is. I don't know him, but they will understand. They will start to grow empathy and understand what women are going through. Because at this point in time, they feel like motherhood and parenthood is just a walk in the park because they really don't do it. They really don't deal with these kids. Like we've heard it said before, men want kids like want puppies. So think about it, y'all. Just think about it. And I don't have much else to say. Y'all let me know if y'all like this type of video where I'm just like talking about just random videos and not like a specific topic. This was a random, just out of nowhere because I was mad, like I said at the beginning. But get down in the comments, like, share, and subscribe. And I will talk to you ladies later. Bye.